Hi everyone. I wanted to prepare this little video, I hope it's not too long, that's an overview of what we call Q2S, which is quarter to semester conversion. And to all of us, it looks a bit like this. We're a little bit overwhelmed by the work ahead of us, but we also are trying to look at what are the potential benefits of doing this. So it's the idea that this would be long-term. You'll have a longer term in a community within the course, so you'll have more time to do the course, going from 10 weeks to 15 weeks. There's less setup and teardown time, meaning like the syllabus and then the final, those take up less of a proportion of the class. There's a longer time frame for projects. There's improved support for transfer students from community colleges. There's a more gradual pace in some of the courses where we sort of start up a little slower and then speed through the rest of it. Also, there might be a more holistic, it allows us a holistic view of the curriculum, and looking at maybe some common first years to support major change. So those are the benefits that are outlying, although the reason we're doing it is because it's a mandate from the Chancellor's Office. Cal Poly is one of 23 campuses in the CSU, and we are the last one that is on a quarter system. And so the Chancellor's Office would like us to move to semester. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the values that are driving us as we move through this process. So there's some university value priorities, which are transfer students, diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability, teacher-scholar model, which means support both research and teaching, high-impact practices like project-based learning, time to degree. We want to make sure we don't take it a longer time to get a degree, and then workload of everybody, faculty, staff, and students, and then there's budget considerations. The College of Engineering has identified 4 priorities for us: a flexible curricular design, so trying to be as flexible as possible, innovative and effective pedagogies, so making sure we're doing enough labs and project-based learning, and then innovative and creative approaches to meeting ABET requirements, accreditation requirements, and then develop potentially interdisciplinary and cross-college curriculum threads. So as we move into that, let me just sort of go over what we mean, what's happening in semester conversion. So what's happening is we're going from 180 quarter units, and there's 3 quarters in a year, to 120 semester units where there's 2 semesters in a year. So what that means, IE right now is 190, and we are going to be moving to 127 potentially, and then manufacturing is 192, and they're going to be moving to 128. So if we look at particular courses, there's ways of converting sort of this, taking a class that's 3 units in a quarter system and making it 2 units in a semester system. And that is a one-to-one kind of correspondence. The problem is if people are taking or teaching multiple 2-unit courses, that's a lot of courses for somebody to handle in a semester. Another way to do it is to take 4 4-unit quarter classes and convert them to 2 4-unit semester classes. This is also a pretty easy conversion, and we've tried to do this with many of our courses, and that's still a year-long sequence of the content. So looking at our timeline is that we are right now, 2022 and 23, departments and colleges are developing semester curriculum. And then in 23-24, the university goes through an approval process through the Academic Senate. And then 24-25, we finalize and publish the catalog. And then 25-26, we encode it and start to advise the students who will be caught in the transition, sort of half in quarters and half in semesters. So this means we'll be converting to semesters in fall of 2026. So let's look a little more detail of this year. And what we're doing this year is summer, we had some task force working. We had some people doing preliminary design for the programs. Fall, we're going through multiple iterations of the curriculum. Winter seeks college approvals, so we'll go through an approval process at the college. And then spring, we're going to be doing a lot of the detail related to course and curriculum development, actually doing all the detailed course proposals, consolidation memos, prerequisites, things like that. So if we look back at backwards from that, that means that in January 27th, beginning of winter quarter, we need to have the draft curriculums done. And they will be finalized in March 17th of the winter quarter. So that means our deadline right now is January 27th. That means we need IE, manufacturing, MS, master's in IE, and engineering management. We need list of courses. We need whether they're new, significantly revised, converted, or discontinued with units. And we also need flowcharts. So we need to have when they're going to be offered, when they're going to be taken in the curriculum, and the prerequisites. So working back from there, that means that we're right now going through a first iteration which we're reviewing with you on Wednesday, and then a second iteration that we're going to be reviewing with students, and then we're going to start defining technical electives after that. We'll also review it with you again at the end of the quarter, looking when we have an IAB meeting, and then we're going to have final approval of the curriculum to deliver it on January 27th. We've set aside Friday afternoons for this work. All of us have it on our calendar, 3 to 5, that we're going to be working on this. So some of the design specifications that we're working under is workload should remain unchanged. We can't teach more classes than we do now in our department. The semester has to start fall of 2026. We have to look at our physical space limitations like labs and lecture rooms. We have to maintain a strong lab component. We want to consider student schedules like time and life balance, and we want to consider ABET requirements. A little bit of a funny thing about this is that general ed is actually not available right now. We don't exactly know how general ed is going to be specified in the curriculum, because there's a state law that we need to align UC and CSU general education requirements, and they're still working on what that alignment might look like. So we probably are not going to get this until 2024, maybe 2025. So what we're working on right now is this sort of draft of what they think GE will be. But the main thing is there's so many unknowns, but we believe there'll be a 3-unit reduction in general ed, which is a little bit funny that we don't know anything more than that. The other thing we've been asked to attend to is transfer students. So we're trying to improve aligned pathways for transfer students. So we want to have careful consideration for the classes in the major that are required in the first 2 years. We kind of want to minimize that so that transfer students can come in and complete it in a timely manner. We want careful consideration of prerequisite chains in the first 2 years, so making sure that this is normal things that somebody at community college might take. Careful placement of lower division GE courses, meaning that they really want us to have lower division GE courses in the first 2 years. And then attending to this thing, which are articulation agreements. These are agreements between community colleges and 4U universities. They're called CIDs, and we need to be attending to that. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a introduction to semester conversion. I look forward to talking to you more about this.